right. Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to GrowedUpGeek Gaming, your narrative and roleplay focused home for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live play campaigns. It is Tuesday night, which means we present our flagship long-term political intrigue campaign set in Eberron, Season 2, titled Eberron Tranquility's Betrayal. We are back with our amazing cast. We'll get to meet them in a second. We'll do intros, do a quick recap of last week, and then jump right into episode 4, the amazing chest, context to follow. I'll start. I'm Manny at GrowedUpGeek on your social media, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. If you like what we do here, please give us a like, follow, subscribe, high five, fist bump, a little bump on the butt. We give consent. Just let us know you appreciate us. New videos are uploaded to YouTube Monday and Tuesdays. We are live here on Twitch Tuesday and Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/GrowedUpGeek. Check us out for both of our live shows here. Enough about me. Let us get to our amazing cast. We'll meet a little bit about their characters and then jump right into a recap and then go loose at a place I had a lot of fun coming up with. So let's get to it. Let us start with our resident gnome across 2 campaigns now. Landon, tell us a little bit about Kai. Sent some message back to his people back home. You know, the first time you kind of reached out to your homeland, at least especially in front of the rest of the party. So you're serving the King of Breland. You're reporting back to your people in Zalargo. How's this going, and how do you feel about kind of doing both things right now?
Yeah, well, it's sort of fortunate that, you know, Zalargo is allied with Breland, so he doesn't think the consequences of kind of being aligned with 2 different governing bodies would be too bad since they're allied. But the biggest thing is just that, you know, on the one hand, he misses home, and on the, you know, it's just a weird situation, I guess. Like I said, they're allied, so he doesn't think there's too much harm in it. He wouldn't do this around the king, and especially not Lieutenant Torfin, because they both seem crazy to him, and he wouldn't want them to know about it. But he feels like he can trust this group of adventurers, so.
All right. Fair enough. Not with the king around. Got it. Probably not the best plan, so it's probably good thinking. All right. Let us go upstairs on the west coast of the overlay. Tenta, tell us about Masawa. And so you're in the big city. There's a lot going on. How you feeling with your new kind of existence in a place with, like I said, so much going on?
I'm Tenta. I play Masawa. Masawa is a warlock, and he is currently finding himself in Sharn and is pretty overwhelmed because he's never actually been in a large city before. When he was alive the first time around, the world was much different. So he hasn't been really compelled to go into a giant city before until now. So he's just kind of decompressing and keeping an eye out for anything that says Tyrithian or Caius.
Okay. All right. I don't know whether to root for you to find those things or not, but we'll see. All right, let us slide over to our easily distinguished and especially size specific, sticks out quite a bit. Our Goliath Paladin of the Silver Flame. Nick, tell us about Flametongue. And you've seen your faith not exactly treated well over the last couple of, I guess, days and weeks in game. You feeling discouraged about its place in other nations outside of Thrain, or do you feel like it's just kind of a temporary thing?
Well, I mean, in this seemingly backwards new land, full of heathens, which, the church is shutting down here, and I just have to, remedy that problem and turn everyone I possibly can to the Silver Flame, one at a time. If I have to, I'll make that sacrifice. I'll be on the streets, and I'll do that for the Silver Flame.
What does missionary work look like for the Silver Flame? Do you knock on people's doors, short sleeves, bicycles? Help me out.
Well, right now, just, as we go around with the party, and anyone that I can potentially engage or lay on hands or try to, do a good deed in the name of the church, go ahead and try to do that.
Maybe a potential brothel might be the place where people may need a little bit of help. We'll see.
Yeah, laying on hands is quite profitable.
That's very selfless of you as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you get consent. Their profession does not automatically mean consent. All right, let us slide down to Dustin. Please tell us about Rel, and you potentially are about to go visit another one of your old friends from your prior time here in Sharn. The last one appears to have sold you out, maybe, to no real detriment, but still, at least the inconvenience of being kidnapped, essentially. How you feeling about your relationship with your friend who owns the brothel and the people that surround that?
I mean, yeah, we've always had like a semi-business related relationship. My character is very work oriented, sort of. He's always about solving the next crime and figuring out what's going on and everything. So, he's just hoping that, having been gone for a while, that his connections still stick and that he can get the information he needs to continue doing what he needs to do.
All right. That is our amazing cast. I'm lucky to have them here every week, some of them for going on a year and a half now. We've been together doing this on Tuesdays, and that's become a major part of my day, so I appreciate them being here. And then for Nick actually being cool and sliding into a group that's already played with each other for a while. Just means a lot to me, so thanks, you guys. All right, enough mushy stuff. Let's get on to potentially killing these people I just gushed about. So last week, the party arriving at a former friend of Rel's at their tavern, seemingly everything being normal. They offered to rent some rooms, and while they waited for their contact and their passes through the city, just in case they were, a little hot, they were offered the chance to sit in a back private room, cut off from the rest of the bar. They were bombarded by wizards and kind of ruffians of the Twin Sons street gang that they had encountered previously. They were given two of them failed their saves for dominate person. Two of them succeeded, and given the choice to comply or fight, they complied. Took a long ride on a sky coach, deliberately weaving throughout Sharn, intentionally trying to disorient the party, but it seemed quite quickly that they weren't going very far. Just a lot of twists and turns in order to disorient them. They arrived at a warehouse where they met the leader of the Twin Sons, a two-headed giant known as the Etten. One of them kind of brutish and simple, I think it's a polite way to put it. Wanted to smash things and kind of embrace the brutish nature. And the other one very calculating and kind of charming in this split body personality. They inquired why the party was interested in them and who they were. The party honestly told them that they worked for the king. The Etten, impressed by that and wanting no part, offered to leave the party alone if the party left them alone. Yeah, everybody was cool with that. Nobody wanted any trouble. So a very no harm, no foul, but at least the party has met and had some FaceTime with a major criminal player in town. And after this agreement, they returned back to the train station in Terminus to retrieve the papers themselves after being granted a favor by the Etten in a show of faith for their new kind of working relationship. So the party went down, retrieved their city passes that were a little less subtle than maybe they should be. But we will pick up right now outside of the train station, city passes in hand. And up to you as to where you would like to go next. You see just Sky Coach is taking off from the courtyard of the train station as people essentially hop what is analogous to a taxi cab to any destination within the city. And now that you have your passes, you are free to travel as you would like. So I will turn it over to you. You stand there watching passengers get off Sky Coaches as you stand there kind of in the grand entrance just outside of the train station. What would you all like to do?
There are too many people here. We need to go elsewhere.
You know,
Masawa.
we should go back to the same place that we were just at because we got ratted out there. So we got to pick a new spot.
Oh, we will eventually be revisiting there. Only it will be in the dark of night. And it will be with other intentions. No one does that to us. Not under Masawa's protection.
Yes, they could be a serious issue if they're going to just be randomly abducting and kidnapping people, especially
Yes.
for the cause we fight for.
Neutrality was the best solution to get out of that. But we can silently work against it.
Agreed.
So, we had discussed going to the upper levels. Is that still what we are wanting to do? There is a particular establishment we had mentioned. I'm not interested as
I
much
mean,
as you.
let's I mean, I thought that we were gonna attempt to try and gather more information, both about, or well, most specifically about the Warforged, right?
That is the overall goal.
Yes.
There are many stops in between.
Yes. Is there anything anyone wants to do right now, or should we just head? Like I said, I have a contact who's usually very well connected. He at the very least could point us in the right direction.
If this contact betrays us, I will start to look at you sideways.
Yeah, fair enough. I feel like it's pretty unlikely since he's a businessman who is connected with everyone.
I do still trust
make a
you.
business. He wouldn't make good business if he betrayed people.
I do still trust you.
He's
It's
the
the
kind of
others that I do
person.
not.
Yeah, he's the kind of person who would, when you go to him, you know that going to him, it will be sold to somebody else's information. Basically, all information is known by this guy and for sale.
That's a good friend to have.
Theoretically.
Also a good friend to keep an eye on.
Yes.
So then we should head out.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
like in the like the nicer part of the middle district, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we
So
know
we can-
how to get to the middle district? Are we there now and just it's a matter of getting on the right
Just have to find
conveyance?
the right taxi.
it's Sharn is basically like a city that works in like 3 dimensions. It's not just like, spread out on one plane. So, you are on the kind of ground level plane. You would just take a cab in the same way that you would go from place to place. This one just moves vertically as well.
Yeah, I just imagine there's a lot of choices.
Sure.
You gotta get the right one.
Like I said, that we have you outside the kind of train station, so just like any kind of mass transit, big hub, there are cabs outside that just can't wait to take people in from out of town all over the place.
Well, that sounds like we should grab one.
Find one with an open top so I don't have to crunch in the back.
Yes, you have a very long neck, though.
Yeah. Basically, I'm just a giraffe.
It's a weird race, dude.
A sky coach sets down near where you all kind of stand. A couple of Leonid get off and kind of tip the thing a little bit to the side. And they're like, "Hey, you guys looking for a ride?"
Yes.
Ah, great. Where are we going?
What's the name of the place that we're going to?
We're going to the amazing chest.
Ah, yes.
Ah,
The amazing chest.
the brothel, eh? I've had quite a few fares there today. I wonder what's going on there. But yeah, that'll be 10 gold. Maybe I'll stop in and have a drink there. So we'll do a half price fare. How's that work for you?
I accept.
All right.
What's the price?
I'll give him the 10 gold
All right.
out of my
10
stash.
10 gold.
Great. Yeah. Come on.
I'll pay for it.
Come on. Let's go. We can maybe catch a little bit of the last minutes of happy hour before they get busy.
I do not drink, I say as I open the cab door and sit in.
Ah, very well. More for me then. Everybody in? We ready to go? Yeah, it's just right over here, up a little bit, and we can take a ride. All right, all aboard. We're off to the amazing chest. And your little sky coach, just like the one that you were kidnapped on, kind of juts up through the city like most crab drivers. He's kind of aggressive and heavy with the gas. Is a little steep of an ascent. As he weaves in, almost hitting other sky coaches, screaming profanities, making hand gestures you're unfamiliar with.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of zooms along, just seems to be kind of talking to himself and pointing random things out and telling stories that don't really go anywhere. And after a while, he was like, "Hey, they didn't let me land here this too close to last time. Something about what was going on there, so I'm going to have to put you down at the end of the block. I hope that's okay."
Very well.
Okay. All right. Kind of brings it in, and this, bobbing and weaving maniac as you fly through the skies and the streets of Sharn suddenly becomes very careful as he tries to put it down, doesn't want to bump it into anything.
I do not like this form of conveyance.
I'm sorry, Bobby. It's just, he's just trying to get you here. All right. And, eventually kind of puts it down, a little jarring there at the end. He's like, "All right, well, Firelight District, you know what you're getting. If your sensibilities are easily offended, you're on the wrong spot, all right? But you all have a great day. Have a good time. Tell Jocelano I said hey."
Jocelano?
Castellano.
All right, I'll have to remember that one.
Yeah. He's
Like
the owner of
this.
that place. Tell him Milton said hello, and then I'll probably be by later.
Okie dokie.
Well,
All right. Well, if you know where you're going, it's just right down the street here. Just keep an eye out. It'll be on your right-hand side. You all have fun. And as everybody kind of gets off, watch him gingerly get up and achieve a little bit of altitude before just kind of flying right off into the city streets. Once again, almost crashing into other sky coaches, screaming profanities, hand gestures, the whole thing all over again. You stand.
I look at these guys and I say, if I were not already dead, I would have feared for my life in the cab.
I could always cast Feather Fall.
I'm pretty sure that I can relieve your guys' concern. There are people hired who catch people if they fall.
I disbelieve this.
It's true. It's an actual business.
Just big nets on the ground.
The mages.
No.
Oh,
Like,
are they
they're
like
just-
squadrons with like trampolines? Like,
No, guys, we live in a world of magic.
Yeah.
There are people who cast featherfall on people if they fall down. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're just standing here. Ah! Got it. I got you, buddy.
so yoing. The guy
Well,
just
actually, I'll be honest with you. There was an issue earlier on, but back when I used to live here, where a group of youth would intentionally keep jumping off, wasting this, the magical spells of magic users. It became a bit of an issue. Anyways, yeah,
Free youths.
the youths, always trying to bug
Yes.
everything up.
I do not like youths.
So you see down the street, at the end of a city street, what appears to be this giant golden sandstone building sitting down the middle of the street, a little bit of an awning, a red carpet, some velvet ropes around the red carpet, and two humongous gold statues out in front.
What do the gold statues look like?
Do they look like giant titties?
Be rad.
Oops. Boops.
Oh, I look over at everybody critically. Should we wear our armor in here?
I don't
Well,
think there's
I have nowhere to store mine except on my body, so I'm gonna just
Stick
wear
it in your back. I'm gonna put my armor in my backpack and use my my little alter self spell here and
Cute.
look like a human being dressed up to party instead of a skeleton in ill-fitting armor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only wearing like leather and stuff.
Well, your armor is like fashionable, man.
Yeah, I look pretty classy.
You got the Dick Tracy like esque thing going on.
Big Boy Did It. Big Boy Did It. I love that movie.
Me too, man.
It's great. Fucking Warren Beatty's great. Al Pacino, all the gangsters. That movie's great. I love it. All right. So you make your way to this very opulent and just fabulous gold and sandstone exterior. Like I said, a red carpet out front, some velvet ropes, some giant statues, a very attractive female, muscular human. I mean, like big, like Jordan Grace big, bigger than Rhea Ripley. Like we're talking big. As well as a much less impressive specimen of what appears to be just kind of a regular bouncer sitting up out front. The female, her knuckles appears to be a little bruised. She's kind of like blowing on him and kind of doing her best to treat what looks like an injury.
I'll walk up. Are you injured?
Kind of. It was a little rough. We had to throw out some rowdy folks in here, and had to teach them a lesson.
I'll put my hands out like in front of me like this, and then if he puts his hands out, I'll lay on hands on him.
She looks at him. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. I didn't want to have to go see the healer. How can
Name of the silver flame?
Ah.
You're healed.
some of your brothers are inside.
Oh,
Casting
goody.
casting blessings as well. Can I ask? Do you have an appointment?
I don't think so.
No, it's me. Let me in.
Hi, Rel.
Hello.
How's it going? How long's it been?
Sorry?
How long's it been?
Gosh, it's been like a year or two, right? I think that's
so.
right.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's been like a year or two.
Yeah, well,
It's been as long as it would take for a modern world like this to recover from a global catastrophe.
so about 6 months, huh?
Yeah, a little bit longer than that.
Pretend like it never happened. Got you.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you. Everybody's still inside.
How's life? Have you cracked any skulls recently?
Actually, it's weird that you should ask that. I had to mess up some of your brethren.
My brethren.
Yeah, those House Cannith guys, they could just get to be assholes. They were in here celebrating something big, and they got a little handsy, and, we don't tolerate that here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why you're here.
I mean, and some of these lazy sacks of shit. She points to the other, bouncer right there, and kind of, has a moment of pride where he kind of puffs out his chest, but physically compared to her, he just kind of slumps and just kind of takes it because she's probably right. Look, I'm supposed to be doing appointment only. There's a situation inside.
I mean, come on. I'm the situation solving kind of guy.
I mean, all right, just be cool.
Listen, Alondra. Just let Joss know that I'm here.
Okay.
At the very least, we can help you out.
All right.
Have you met my friend, by the way? This is Flametongue. This is Masawa, and this is. Wait, where am I? Where's my little icon?
I accidentally moved it into the fog of war, and I'm sorry
Oh,
about that. That's
okay,
why,
that's
why
okay.
I
Let
was
me see
sitting
if I can
here.
find- I was like,
I got it.
Like, I see three.
I got it. There it is.
I'm
There it
sorry.
is.
I was
There we
sitting
go.
here like giggling, trying not to like.
Oh,
I'm
no.
gone. I disappeared.
All right.
And my friend Kai.
It is a pleasure to meet friends of Rel. I imagine my usual warnings will be unnecessary, as you all know how to comport yourself at a establishment of pleasure such as this. We respect our entertainers. If they feel they have been wronged, we take their side in all occasions. Don't make me and some of these losers come in and do something about it. Okay? Rel, just make your way in. Jocelano will find you. I assure you. But he's just going to be busy up in the VIP section. So just kind of go in, hang out, and he'll probably be right with you. Okay?
Sounds good.
Right.
In we go.
All right. Let me just do the map here. All right. So you make your way inside and discover a giant desert-themed room. In the middle, what appears to be a very ornate sarcophagus of an ancient desert civilization. To your left, you see a stage, 2 entertainers dancing upon it, a crowd of patrons sitting around, seemingly none too thrilled for some reason. To your right, you see immediately these tubs of hot spring water. In it, you will see 2 clerics of the Silver Flame. Their tabards clearly kind of hung over the edge of the tub, as well as 1 entertainer with them. what appears to be a member of the dragon-marked House Cannith in a tub by himself with an entertainer. In the far back, it appears to be some sort of bodyguards. It's hard to tell from just entering the place. In the back, you'll see 2 bars. In the upper left, another VIP section. So everybody is free to kind of go as you please throughout the establishment. Kai, you kind of taken the lay of the land. Is there anywhere you would like to go just to kind of see what's going on? You want to just make like a pass through, or?
Yeah, he would mostly do a pass through. I think he would be drawn to where the guards are.
Okay.
So maybe he would go to the bar up here in the upper right where this Salina is.
Okay.
And kind of be like listening for the King's Shield and stuff, but also ordering a drink.
Okay. Flametongue, what do you want to do as you walk into this giant establishment?
So before I go in, I'll make sure to hand 2 religious pamphlets to the guards out front. So reading material for when you go on your breaks.
Thank you, sister.
And when I go in, do I see the Silver Flame guys?
They're going to be up here.
And they're in a tub of water?
Yeah, like a natural spring that has bubbled into a little hot, like natural hot tub in the middle of this establishment.
I'm going to get in there.
Okay.
There's an empty spot. I'm just going to hop right in.
Okay.
Brothers, it's so good to see representatives of the church in this den of sin.
All right. Masawa, where would you like to go?
Masawa is investigating the sarcophagus.
Okay.
He is checking it for authenticity with what he knows.
Okay. All right.
Is this a display or is this an actual sarcophagus?
Rel, you see 2 old friends tending bar in the back, very clear as day. Their appearance gives them away every time they enter a room. And then out as you make your way in, above everything else, you can hear the familiar voice of Jocelano, somewhat agitated and insistent, off in one of the back VIP rooms up here in the upper right. Where would you like to go?
I'd go to Jocelano.
Okay.
Or like stand in the outside area, try to catch his eye.
Okay.
Be like,
all right. Let's start with Tenta. So give me an idea of what you want to do with the sarcophagus. You want to see if it's like a legit artifact versus just some shitty knockoff. Is that it?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. I'm getting as close to it as I can without alarming anyone or touching it, and
okay.
Observing it.
I guess a religion or history check if you're good at either one of those.
Well, I'm not awful smart because my brain's broken, but I'll try it. It should be fun. No matter what. So let's bring up the things. There we go. All right, I'm going to use my my reborn feature of past life knowledge to bolster my roll here.
All right, I love that.
Yeah, you were the one who laid down the ground on how to run one of these guys. Let's see. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where's my ability? There it is. Okay, here it is. So with the D6, I got a 20.
Okay. All of the inscription and everything on top of the sarcophagus and on the side is reminiscent of an ancient sun god that was, name escapes you, but the one thing that you take away and that you make the connection with is that they were called like the Purifier.
The Purifier, huh? All right.
But
sit there and mull that over.
You're a being with many years on this existence. It is legit old. It's not some kitschy knockoff for decor. It's the real thing.
Do I remember at all? Do I remember hearing about this in my lifetime, which was 2,500 years ago?
There was like kind of a benevolent cult of like some sort of like proto paladins. They're, you know, same idea, maybe not as devout or as hardcore, just a bunch of people fighting for an idea. That they were this lawful good organization that worshipped this sun god and fought things like the undead.
Oh, so those are enemies of my past life then. Interesting to see them now that I'm kind of a neutral party. It's just interesting how things change. That's cool.
All right, let's do Flametongue. As you're just gonna stroll up there and just hop in the tub, yeah?
Yeah. Full armor on.
So you see two clerics of the Silver Flame. They're, you know, kind of faith-specific tabards hanging off the side of the pool. You don't want to get it wet. You know, flame, water, probably not a good match. But very clearly displayed and not making an effort to be even the remotest bit like subtle about who they are and, you know, what they're doing. And as you walk up on them, you can hear them talking about that they're upset about having to be moved out of town, and that they don't want to go back to Thrain, because Thrain is very much on like edge right now. So they're going to kind of splash in. Can we help you, sister?
Yeah, good to see you, brothers.
Yes. How can we help you?
Just, you know, it's good to come and speak to like-minded friends of the faith. I saw you in here. Just, you know, wanted to give you, you know, share my thoughts that you're doing a good job coming in here and doing good deeds to, you know, further our faith in this strange land.
Well, we're not going to be here for too much longer. We're being recalled to Thrain. That sucks. I don't want to go. This place was great. It's a big city. You know, hey, there's not too much pressure. We're here to guide those who get lost, not really convert in a foreign land. And now we got to go back to Thrain, and that place is, it's getting rough from what we hear.
Well, if you don't want to leave, then don't. What would it take for the church to stay open here? Just more converts coming into the church all the time? Isn't that like your job? Go do that, and then you can stay.
The hierarchy of the church works that we are becoming treated hostilely in this foreign land, and we wish not to escalate tensions between our homeland and this nation of deviants.
Heathens.
They don't see the light like we do, and they don't want to. And the way they treat...
Our job to show them through our deeds. How many people have you laid hands on today?
2 beggars on the way here, and somebody who'd been up all night at a warehouse.
Did you give him a religious pamphlet? And I'll slap some wet, soggy religious pamphlet on them.
No, we simply showed them the power of our faith. I'm just gonna kind of like throw it over the side of the tub. Sister, what are you doing here?
I'm on a mission from the king.
Ah, the king of Breland? Does he know you are foreigners serving in his service?
He sure does. I hide no secrets.
And how are you treated, sister, by this king that condones the destruction of foreign temples on his land?
My service speaks for itself.
So, unless you have done something for his majesty, he shows little regard for you.
Yeah, basically. These people are terrible, but that's why we need to save them.
Well, sister, if you wish to sit in on us, it is fabulous to meet another devotee of the flames. Let us order some drinks and let us discuss possible methods to convert some of the locals that perhaps maybe we can stay here and maybe get you ordained into the church in a more, kind of authoritative role.
Yeah, if you want to stay, the key is just having more converts. You get more converts by doing more good deeds.
Yes. Let us discuss this, sister. And so they kind of wave over and order some drinks, and they begin to have a kind of peaceful discussion back and forth about what you'll do with converts and ways to gain them as your drinks arrive and, kind of begin the conversation anew. All right, Kai, as you make your way all the way to the back, you're going to notice a couple of things. You are going to notice 4 people that you recognize from boot camp in your first initiation into service under the Brailish Crown. And then in that period where you were also assigned to respective groups, organizations within the King's Citadel, these were some of the people that were also chosen to be King's Shields. As you walk by, you get a faint glint of recognition from them, but they seemed pretty occupied with securing this VIP section. And from your perspective, as you walk to the back to the bar, all you can see is entertainers. This VIP room is packed with them. In fact, as you make your way to the back, you realize that there aren't very many entertainers elsewhere in the establishment, that the majority of them are up in this VIP room near the bar. Right next to you sits a very large, mysterious figure with a like a metal helmet, not like you saw out in the field after Xandrar, Jesus. But just a kind of metal mask, a style all its own, black hood, just sitting there menacingly. Doesn't look like the kind of patron that would be at a brothel to have a good time. Next to you on the other side, these 3 women have very posh accents. They seem to be dressed very well, and they're discussing some mysterious killings at the university when you walk up and have a seat. A beautiful female Aasimar is tending bar in front of you. She looks as you kind of get up on the stool and just isn't going to bother you, waits for you to signal her. What would you like to do?
And when I say all of this, Kai is going to kind of like act drunk, so as he speaks, he's going to sort of like intentionally slur his speech.
Okay.
Specifically sitting next to this more intimidating figure. But Kai is going to say, "Murders at the university. Oh, that's where I know a lot of people down there at the university. There's the Gnome Village. I always go visit when I come into town. Well, tell me more about these murders?"
Well, and they seem very engaged by wanting to like gossip in a very housewifey kind of way. Well, it has all been scholars and intellects discussing and publishing papers on the benefits of democracy over monarchy. They just mysteriously end up stabbed.
I will be like, back in Zalargo, they have a democracy, and I guess it makes a lot of sense since there's so many gnomes up there by the university. He's gonna kind of look at the intimidating figure next to him, and he's gonna say, "I bet this guy could. He looks like he could be an assassin." And he's gonna kind of like nudge him with his elbow. "You ain't the one killing all these people, are you?"
I only hunt one type of prey.
One type. Well, I'd love to hear this.
Cultists. Fervent believers of nonsense. Their recklessness and their lack of grounding and foundation and rational thought is a danger to us all. Even after their times, the simple fact that they would give so much of themselves to absurdity continues to be a danger to all of us.
You talking about the Dark Six, or? I know there's quite a few of them.
There are many, and they all must pay.
Huh. Well, I know I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of you. You look pretty ready to go. He's gonna turn back to the other person he was talking to and say, "So the people being murdered was out for democracy, huh? Plenty of gnomes, I'm sure, right?"
A couple of well-noted Breelish scholars born and raised here speaking out against the king. And 2 days later, mysteriously dead of stab wounds.
Oh, I guess that is the way it goes. Mysterious deaths. And he's going to kind of look towards Rel, and he's going to be like sipping on his little beer, but he's going to just cast message to telepathically just like relay things to Rel.
Okay. All right. So, Rel, you're going to walk up to what you know to be one of the kind of VIP sections of this establishment. It is headed off by 4 members of the King's Shields with their emblems prominently displayed. And they stand there, and just even as you walk up, they begin to kind of close ranks. You can see the entire VIP room just filled with entertainers. And as you kind of do this and kind of see what's going on, towards the back, you can see the proprietor and your friend, Jocelano, kind of pleading with somebody in the VIP section.
Yeah, are there normally Kingsguard in here?
No. And from your interactions with the Braelish military and the King's Citadel, you know that they pretty much only go where there is a member of the royal family or somebody worthy of the royal family's bodyguards protecting them.
Okay. Okay. Do I like? Okay, so they're obviously guarding somebody important or something. Do I see somebody important?
Aside from, you've been here, kind of the overall aesthetic, you can pick out entertainers in the VIP. And in the back, you can see your friend Jocelano, like, really kind of trying to emphasize that they need some of these entertainers to return to work, as the rest of the patrons are somewhat lonely. And eventually you'll peek your way in, and you'll see what look like a set of twins about 23 years old. Hold on. They are... They are 24 years old. Good looking, kind of douchey, sitting in the back, and they appear to be the ones arguing with Jocelano.
Okay. I mean, it has. I'm just gonna wait for him to finish whatever he's doing.
Okay.
So I'll just patiently stand here like a patient person. But I'm observing.
Okay.
As I always do.
Roll me a perception check. Are you gonna try to like listen in on what's going on?
I mean,
or you don't even
like
care.
I'm not like I'm not overtly going to. If
Okay.
I hear anything or pick anything up, I'm not gonna be like straining my ears to hear though.
Okay.
Hiya.
All right. It's starting to get uncomfortable for the entertainers. They realize that they could be making money, and they're not. They're all kind of stuck in here for these egos, and eventually some of them are going to kind of disperse, and you're going to hear Jocelano say, thank you very much, and they're all going to kind of...
They're all buxom. They've got like skinny tops and big bottoms.
They...
It's best.
Pear-shaped is not quite accurate.
Just saying. They all look like a bunch of pears.
All right. And as they...
one thing. For flavor, I'm assuming that it doesn't always look like this in here. I think the last time I was here 2 years ago, it had like an underwater theme.
Yes.
So is this a combination of both physical and magical elements?
Yes, it is part, Vegas casino with a very cultivated aesthetic, but also in doing so, a desire to remain authentic. The statues outside looked pretty real, same as the sarcophagus in the middle.
Okie dokie.
They really dove into this new into the new theme.
Oh yeah.
So you'll see some of the entertainers kind of break up their huddle a little bit, and as they do, Jocelano kind of looks to see where they're going to make sure that some of the guests who've been here longer are attended to. Makes eye contact with you, gives you a little bit of a sly wink. Your Majesties, look, I have a business to run, and while I appreciate your patronage, you are preventing me from making any money, and it would just be a very kind gesture for as long as we've been doing this, that if you would let some of them get back to work and take care of our other patrons. You are free to do as you like, as always. I am forever humbled by your majesty's presence. Just, you guys got to help me out, please. And you can hear one of them just kind of go, fine, Jesus, whatever. God, the fuck's the point of being famous if I can't even have all this fun? Fine, go entertain less important people, whatever. There, Jocelyn, are you happy? Yes, your majesties. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I have business to attend to, so I will leave you to it, your majesties. And he's gonna kind of
the people that he's talking to. They're from Breland, right?
Yes.
Like they're Brelish royalty?
Yes.
Okay. Do they have any distinct features about them?
They appear to be twins.
Besides being rich? Okay, they're twins.
They're twins.
Okay. All right.
And
do I know who they are?
You know the king has twin sons by his second wife. They're relatively young. They're probably out on their own right now. This is probably them.
Okay.
And even before, when you were here before, you heard that the princes were kind of assholes.
Young men getting up to trouble. And so they were like, okay, so they're like hoarding all the entertainers.
Yes.
And the king's shield, they do they look familiar?
They were people in boot camp the same time as you. You recognize them from, your basic like kind of training and your reorientation into the service.
Okay.
They were there. Their greed. This is probably their first assignment.
Fair enough. They always give the shitty assignments to the new guy. Watch after the twins. Make sure they have fun at the prostitutes and all that. All right. No more bastards, please. And all that kind of stuff. All right. Jocelyn comes over.
Yes.
And I'll just be like, looks like business isn't going very well, or maybe too well.
Well, it's a gift and a curse. It is great to see you, Blue Eyes. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I give him a hug, I guess.
Oh, very nice.
As people do.
It's been a while. Wow, I didn't know I was going to miss that, but thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, we're not quite madams, but we've got our nice little niche here. Apparently high-class clientele, as you can tell, and rolls his eyes very dramatically.
It's interesting that we both seem to be in the service of the king.
I guess I'm in the service of those two assholes who I guess are from the king. I don't know.
From the king's loins, at the very least.
Yeah, we all know that marriage was about grief, and he married somebody much younger. And
what king hasn't done that?
Unfortunately, most of them, and now I have to deal with them.
Yeah.
How are you?
I mean, are they behaving themselves?
I mean, aside from hogging all the entertainment, they've been banned from madams, so this is the only place they can go.
I mean, I suppose you could ban them too.
They spend money and they bring.
That's fair.
They bring people, and they don't rough up the girls or anything. They just want them to tell them how great they are, and they keep them from all the other customers. So, I had to come in here and I had to straighten them out, let them get back to work, let them make some money instead of just hanging out here, like worshiping them like assholes. yeah. Anyway, enough about me. What are you doing here? How long has it been?
It's been almost 2 years.
Wow. Wow. Oh, come on. I saw your friends come in. I imagine they're with you. Let me buy you all a drink, and we can kind of catch up. It's great to see you.
Yeah.
Just gonna walk over, make their way to the bar.
I'll put my hand. Wait, I'll put my hand on his shoulder to prevent him from walking away very quickly, and I'll just say,
Ooh.
as much fun as this is, I only ever come here for one reason, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So at some point, the private conversation would be helpful. We have business to take care of.
I have some business for you as well. Did you talk to Alondra out there?
I did.
Okay. Then you'll probably know something that I need very specifically from you. It's gonna kind of like poke you in the chest and give you like a little rub. Ooh.
I know how business works. We can establish some kind of exchange. Do you want this to be a more private conversation?
We can slide up to the other VIP if you would like. Be your friends. We could all have a seat, have some drinks, enjoy some.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay, very well.
I will summon my companions and we'll meet you up there. I assume this is like the orange booth over here.
Yeah.
In the far corner.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well. Kind of. Kai, are you sitting like facing the bar or with like your face to like the building?
So Kai would pretty frequently be looking around. He was in the conversation with them, but he was pretty frequently just like dropping messages to Rel, just to, he's a detective about these murders and stuff. So he would probably notice. He'd probably make eye contact with Rel. Rel probably wouldn't have to. Because I have to like look at Rel to send a message. I have to like basically point at him.
Okay.
I'll really awkwardly stare into your eyes.
I
mean, I look over at you.
So you're gonna see Rel's very well dressed, very pretty friend make their way through give you a nice little polite kind of summons. Masawa, you as well. Before stepping out, step over to Flametongue. Sister, whenever you see fit and you are done with this theological conversion discussion, I would appreciate you joining me up in the VIP section with your friends, that I may make your acquaintance and show you some hospitality of Sharn.
Yeah, I'll go with her. I'll come with you right now.
All right, very well. Let us retire to upper deck. You can see that make like a very distinct hand gesture towards the Asimar behind the bar, and make their way over here. And as they sit down, they follow Rel all the way up and insist, oh no, come here. You have to sit next to me.
Oh, okay. It was funny. I was thinking of the term, like, it's used for elves and like, in the D&D world and stuff. But I mean, it's a generic word. But it literally took me like 36 hours to remember the word androgynous. And I remember thinking about it. I was like, what is that word? I know what I'm thinking, but I couldn't figure out the word. And then 36 hours later, I was like, oh yeah, that word.
You just blurted it out of nowhere too, and people were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It really
came
bro?
back to. I had completely forgotten about it, and then the word just came back to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's what I was thinking about almost 2 days ago," and I couldn't remember what it was.
Your partner's like, huh?
Probably just like eating dinner, like just talking about random words.
Androgynous.
The fuck are you
I'm
okay?
Like, they're like, sir, this is a hospital.
Yeah.
Stop shouting.
Yeah, sir, this is a gas station. Calm down.
Yeah.
So they make their way over. You could see in this very nice VIP section, significantly less crowded. What would appear to be no entertainers. As you make your way to the back, Kai, you specifically are going to notice the table with the purple couches filled with 3 gnomes, not conversing with each other, except to be what it looks like just writing on pieces of paper and then just sliding it to each other. Like nobody actually talking. Okay. And then at the other table, the dark green couches, 3 kind of rough and tumble adventurers, mercenaries, a little drunk and a little upset about their lack of attention from some of the entertainers here at the brothel. Okay. Sit. Oh my God, it's so nice to meet some of Rel's friends. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, proprietor of this establishment. And who might you all be?
These are my companions. We sort of work with well, you know, I'm sure you'll appreciate this information. We are dark lanterns in service to the king.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a better deal than those 4 clowns over there, yes?
Yep. And it's been quite crazy. Things have been a little wild. We basically fought off a rebellion, and that was something. And now we are investigating rumors that there are loose warforge.
New.
New. That I mean, new is the word I meant.
There are. I've seen them. They've been given out like gifts and favors to figures all over the city. Not a few people discreetly possessing them, but people who want you to know that they have them. It's bizarre. I mean, we just threw some House Cannith boys out of here for getting handsy with the girls. I don't know what's going on with them. It's ever since that murder at the wedding. They just, I don't know. They used to be our best. Used to be our best customers, and now I don't know what the hell's going on with them.
Treason.
Well, we need more evidence. So you've been having some specific issues with House Cannith, yes?
Yeah.
Are you not also House Cannith?
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, I have a loose association with them because of my dragon mark, but I've never really been a part of the guild, so to speak.
So you wouldn't consider yourself one of them?
No, not really. I
Very
mean,
well.
like, it's like, I don't know. The houses are like a business, but they're like a business that serves a specific purpose, but only certain people can work for them. And my business isn't what they do as business. It's like House Cannith, right? That they're makers, right? I mostly just investigate things. That is my drive and passion, if you will. So I've never been really a House Cannithier, but they kind of just like all people who have dragon marks are kind of known to the guilds. They have to keep track of these things and stuff. So or I mean, I guess they don't have to, but they do. So like, you know, I've had conversation with them. I'm not required to be a member.
I was
Anyways.
just curious.
Anyways. Yes. So how's Kenneth? Has it been like, have you just been getting harassment, or is there specific things that they've been?
It's not towards me. It's that place used to be a tight ship. They didn't grow to their status and their power by being idiots. To a member, disciplined, smart, you know, non-emotional. And every week they're in here like they have riches that'll never stop, and that they don't care how they behave. They've been thrown out of Madams. They've been thrown out of here. Where are they going to go? They think they're just going to buy their way back in? It's going to cost a lot of money.
Apparently money is no object to them. Perhaps this is responsible for their casual behavior.
For the most part, money never really mattered to them, but reputation did. And they're going to have to spend a lot of money to make people forget these bumps in their reputation. And that doesn't make sense for such a calculating and intelligent house.
I can tell you that their intelligence is overestimated.
Then their pocketbooks have to be growing a lot faster than their intelligence is, or else this house is headed for doom. And there's no way they would let it be done. These new Warforged, I don't know what they do, but like I said, they offered me one. I got enough problems running a business like this as I do without something banned by an international treaty.
Fair. That is wise.
International treaty.
The Treaty of Thronehold said no new Warforged were to be created. That is
right.
that is the concession. And these are new. And they're not hiding them.
We must take the heads of those responsible.
And it's House Kenneth that's making these new Warforged themselves?
They're handing them out like they are. Like you'd hand out like a promotional product. Look at this new thing we've built. Let us give you a sample. See what it can do.
Billy Mays Hayes in his like past
But wait,
times.
there's more.
Not only could it do that.
Send you a gallon of Flex Seal for when your Warforged leaks.
Oh my god. Any idea at all, where these forged are being distributed from?
I mean, I'm guessing the Creation Forge in the bottom of the tower of their building. Unless they've taken over somewhere else.
I'll look over at Rel. Do you know about this Creation Forge? Have you seen it? Do you have access to it?
I think we saw one. So we've seen like one new Warforged.
One for sure.
I mean, pretty sure.
At
Yeah.
the Etton's place, he had one.
Yeah, and at the wedding we did see some unfamiliar ones.
That's
they just
true.
weren't confirmed to be new yet.
But we didn't. Yeah, we weren't really close enough, right, to like really get a.
And we've seen non-sentient ones too. So
Yeah.
or at least mission driven. This
So
is
what?
concerning.
Yeah. What has the leadership in House Kenneth changed recently or something?
The boy got murdered at the castle at the wedding. We don't know. We don't know who's in charge. It's ever since that wedding. They haven't announced who was in charge. You know, this Sharn branch of the family, a little bit weird. They're the big city folk. Always done their own thing. And when their lord died, they seem to have circled the wagons and either proceeded according to plan without him, or suddenly changed course the second he was dead.
Okay, so random question. The Warforged, did people know how to make them? Like, is that a known
Like
thing?
how
Like, our people can make Warforged?
only House Cannith can. And
it's, I assume, so that means it's probably a trade secret or something.
I mean, you know how a car is built, like roughly, without you know, having to know the entire process. I imagine the creating a Warforged process is very similar to that. You know, like the rough steps probably.
Like, I could make the shell of a Warforged. I might not be able to make one work.
I mean, not you personally, but like at least as far as like the process goes.
Okay.
You know, it's not
Because I wasn't sure if Warforged were sentient.
They became sentient after their creation.
Okay. So that wasn't by design or something.
No.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought. Okay, so then that means that like someone's making Warforged like constructions, and either they're taking a gamble and hoping that they're not sentient, or they are sentient but they're pretending not to be sentient. It's very complicated. Anyways.
To my ears, it sounds as if maybe we have someone attempting to make Warforged outside of House Cannith's blueprints.
Yeah. I do think that it, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would assume that somebody in House Cannith is doing it, even if it's not the whole organization. Like, they would need the expertise and the magic that the makers have in order to do that. Most likely. I suppose other people could, but it seems the most likely. Have you can you remind me where House Cannith is? Like their main headquarters, if you will? I know it's here, but like where here?
And notable locations. It is. Second.
What I was gonna say is that, I mean, I could always go to House Cannith and see if, you know, what loose connections I have there could provide me some information. But if I go to House Cannith, you guys can't come. They likely won't let other non-dragon marked folk in.
It's going to be like in the highest level of the subterranean level, in a district that is essentially entirely for everything that House Cannith produces in Sharn. Like the entire district is essentially House Cannith's like facilities.
Yeah, because and I'll remind everyone that the houses may, you know, pledge some degrees of allegiance, but they are entities of their own. They're not bidden to any one king or country. the houses, it may operate out of one, but like they have presences in almost every single country, so it's quite likely that even being under the king's orders wouldn't get us very far. As if you remember, we did sneak into the one house. We had to sneak in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do remember that.
And it only went
Fond
well because
memories.
that one guy was really intoxicated and everything, and got lucky. But yeah, so if I were to go and talk, we could try and get some more information from House Kenneth, but also playing a dangerous game in case, like, you know, trouble or something. But
we will be splitting if we decide to go to House Kenneth if we are not welcome.
Yeah, for some time, anyways.
So this will have to be done carefully.
Yeah. I think that
you are the only one of us who knows this city.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Kai knows some of the city.
It's been just a long while since you've been here, yeah.
Yeah, it's been like 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so how can we help you with your problem? What do you want?
We are concerned that these Kenneth boys are going to come back and cause trouble for us. Alondra's great. She can only do so much. And I don't want her to be put in any jeopardy because those beautiful blue-eyed symbols of yours think that they can just treat us some kind of way because we're not madams. They wouldn't pull this shit at madams. They pull it here, and because they think they can. And I don't like to purposefully hurt people, but you understand, Rel. I have a reputation to maintain. We can't have people misbehaving and expecting to get away with it. It's not good for business. It's not good for the entertainers. I don't want to run that kind of place.
Yeah. No, I understand. I mean, it's very bold of House Kenneth.
They seem to be bold lately.
Yeah. I think it would be. I mean, can you describe specifically who?
We can make an example out of them that House Kenneth will be able to read.
We don't want to make enemies of somebody real powerful.
I promise you, no one.
I don't know. They didn't look like they were anybody kind of important. They weren't like well dressed or anything. I don't know. They're like warehouse workers or something. Like they just the way they carried themselves just didn't fit like their station. And he gestures across the way. She's like, they're fucking princes. Of course they come in here and act like assholes. They don't know any better. And most importantly, they can. If you're going to come into a place like this and be disrespectful, at least kind of have the footing to act in such a way. Oh, excuse me, my little gnomish friend. Yes, feel free. Go out. If there's anything I could do for you, please let me know. Or the bartenders behind the bar.
Of course. I apologize. I think I've seen an old face that I need to go say hello to again.
Okay.
And he gives a smile as he walks away.
So Kai's going to kind of get up. And, you know, he makes a very big point of explaining his deal. What would you all like to do?
So Kai just gets up from the table and bounces after saying I'm leaving. I would have ran after him.
Okay, well, oh, actually, well, we ran into some trouble with the two sons.
And
Do you have any information about them? When I was around, they weren't like a big threat or anything, but it seems like they've gained a lot of power recently.
They have like a philosophy now. They, you know, they're contract thugs, or I don't know, some insanity. It doesn't make any sense. But they have a code now. They're not just petty criminals. They are contract players. Supposedly a legit and operating business model. I don't know. The Etton's all right. You know, he seemed okay. But the one thing that does seem to be true is that for this little kind of petty, you know, beatdown crew, that nobody's really come in and put them in their place. So somebody out there is kind of protecting them at least a little bit, that they haven't, at least not once that I'm aware of, gotten what was coming to them. You know, some days you're just going to catch the wrong person on the wrong day, and while they might deserve their beating, they're coming back for you. And somehow, I mean, is it the Etton? Maybe, but I don't think so. Somebody's keeping them protected.
I is going to send a message to both Rel and Flametongue and say there is a cultist, not there is a cultist here that must be dealt with, a necromancer of the blood of all, one who makes a heresy out of the religion that I and many other follows.
Wait. Or, I mean, I guess I can't stop you. Finish your message.
Please accompany me to deal with this threat.
Okay. It looks like there's some urgent business we need to take care of, as usual. And I guess I'll just lean in a little closer to Jasolano and just say, you know that I was looking into some murders. Do you know if there's been any more, or if there's been any similar crimes since I've been gone? It's been a while.
There's something weird going on at the university.
University? Where's the university? Which one?
Moorgrave University.
Moorgrave.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Does that sound familiar to me?
Yeah, it's like the institution of higher learning in Sharn. It's like the big.
Okay.
It's the big college.
It's the big college.
Yeah. It's in a very like kind of well-to-do academic, you know, intellectual section of town. You know, it's kind of isolated like most, you know, campuses are. So crime and things, not usually a problem up there.
Okay.
So for them to mention that something's going on there, doubly weird.
Okay, cool. Thanks for your information.
Of course.
Hopefully,
it's always great to see you.
Yeah, likewise. And hopefully we'll be able to help you. And if you get any more information relating to any of the things that we've discussed, feel free to drop a message at my office.
The old place.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been there. Maybe I will stop by just for old time's sake. But,
well,
you know, and as you begin to say your goodbyes, the table next to you, the adventurers, mercenaries, start getting really loud and boisterous. And Jocelano, Relic, it's great to see you. Excuse me.
Yes.
He's going to make his way kind of around and starts to talk to them. What would you like to do as they start to raise a voice and he does his best to kind of calm them down?
I guess I will look around for Kai and then go to the Kai.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
I can count on Flametongue support to put down Colt.
Okay.
Nick, did you say same or save it?
Same.
Oh, I thought you were like, I'm gonna use this save point. That's the table.
Okay.
Sorry. I have
all
allergies.
And then Masawa.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna ask though, like,
I'm gonna ask, is there a campfire nearby?
yeah, is there a bonfire? Can I rest that? A grace, perhaps? So that when I die, I come back. I just lose all my experience points. Have to collect them again until I spend them.
We'll set the beacon up. It won't be too far for you to find to recover your lost XP.
Want to ask Kai, are you saying there's a cultist in here right now, or just in the city?
Yes. I just saw her go to a private room, followed by Shirley, a member of the cult.
Surely.
What cult?
What's
the
Shirley's
blood of
last name?
So, well, I'll follow the blood of Vol. Some of the people of Karnath have perverted the teachings of the blood of Vol, and there they have necromancers and lead a cult of death, and that is what this ambassador believes in.
What is wrong with being dead?
There's nothing wrong with being dead, and the blood of Vol sees no issue with the dead. We do believe that once you die, you lose a spark of divinity, but these people seek to bring death upon the world.
That is a much different doctrine.
Well,
should we get going? Is this an urgent thing?
Yes,
I'm
we should.
sure they feel safe in their private room, but I'd like to keep an eye on them. One thing.
So what are we
certain.
doing? Are we confronting them? I really do not think that we should start a conflict in here. This would go bad in many little ways.
I say we keep an eye on them, and as soon as they get to a place where not as much of a commotion would be caused, I say we take them out then. We must be quick about it.
Yeah.
Do you want I lean in close. Do another huddle. We're doing a huddle again. Okay. Are we doing a stealth mission? Are we gonna do that thing where you follow behind the person and then they look behind them, but then we're all standing behind boxes or just like having a casual conversation and then we follow them?
That is exactly it.
I'm a professional at this.
I'm thinking cardboard boxes for everybody. We go full Kojima-san, and we hide in cardboard boxes.
No, you have a cardboard cutout of a person and you just walk forward with it.
Well, I have minor
down.
illusion. I have minor illusion, so I can bring the garbage cans with us.
Kai, you could just pick up a ficus and just fucking walk behind it.
I'm just gonna point out that we are standing in like what would be the walkway towards the private. Maybe we should like stand somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, now that we have a plan.
Okay. Let's stand over here, or like, yeah, sure, we could like sit at the bar, and then I was gonna say, does this person know you?
I'm unsure if they know me specifically, but I know them, and I will send a quiet message to you all when they walk out of the private room, and then we can follow her from there.
Okay. Is this like a? So this is a you thing. We're doing something for you. This is
It's for us all.
Are you an assassin?
I have acted as an assassin in the past.
Assassino! Assassino!
All right. So
My goodness.
if you're gonna post up, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna post up and wait, right? We're not gonna go confront them.
Is it a woman
Yeah.
or a man?
It's a woman. Well, and they walked in with a companion. The thing is,
Okay. Listen. I'm gonna throw this out there. In case there's some ne'er-dwelling happening in there, I think one of us could go in there and scan the area and,
I can do it.
scream out if something bad was happening or whatever.
I can do it. No one will see me in the dark.
Right, you can turn invisible. Okay. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, why don't we do that?
I will scout ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. The door is closed, or is it like curtains or something?
It's closed, but the two people seemingly attending to it are friends of yours, and would not.
Yeah. I'm gonna go, hey, it's been so long. Could I go in the back?
Yeah. Do you want somebody to go with you?
No.
or-
Well, okay.
Just need some alone time.
I
I just gotta take care of myself.
it's a little awkward for me. I'm a little shy about this kind of thing, but someone is gonna join me in there. They wanted me to go in there first.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have any room you want. First room on the right is currently occupied.
Do they open the door for me?
No, they're just gonna kind of let you make your own way back there.
Okay, I'll open the door and then just like leave it open and then stand there for like 15 seconds
Okay.
and then be like, you know what? I'll just it's really okay. I'm just gonna wait for them and then I'll close the door.
Okay.
I'll walk through while he's.
I'm sorry. You know what? I
Distracting
think I just need another.
You know
drink.
what? I've changed my mind. I'll wait here.
I'm gonna have another drink.
Okay.
And I'm
all
gonna
right.
go and sit at the bar and be really red in the face and ask for a drink.
You really psyched him out, bro.
Okay. All right. So we'll take our little mid-show break on that note. To everybody watching, thank you so much for tuning in to my awesome
Yes.
group. I hope you guys are having a lot of fun in the brothel with all of the things going on.
So much fun.
Good. All right. So it is currently 8:54. We're going to take about a 10-minute break, and we will be right back. Hopefully to see everybody on the other side when we come back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we are back from our real life short rest. Before we went to break, the party has spent a little bit of time at the Amazing Chest, a brothel owned by friends of Rel. And in their time here, they've learned and seen quite a bit, including during a meeting with the owner. Kind of giving them the lay of the land, explaining them, answering some questions that they have. Kai was compelled mysteriously out of nowhere to get up from the table and begin to follow somebody who had made their way to the back. After explaining to the party what was going on, they came up with quite a clever little kind of distraction and ploy to get Masawa behind the private doors into the kind of business area of the brothel, if you will. Under Rel's clever kind of misdirection, Masawa has managed to sneak into the back where it is dimly lit, so has managed to maintain some level of discretion amongst people in the revenue generating part of the brothel. And as you make your way to the back, as the remainder of the people of the party stays at the bar, kind of on Kai's instructions to, after a warning from Rel that maybe bloodshed in the establishment wasn't the best course of action, and they would just basically wait for them to leave and follow them out. So, Masawa, after Rel's clever kind of distraction, you've turned invisible, made your way to the back, and you see a large hallway that kind of splits off in two directions, doors on both sides. would probably amount to almost 36 rooms down kind of both ends of the hallway. You know, they employ a lot of people here.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of love right there.
Rel's got some successful friends in the industry, if you will. And as you make your way to the back, like I said, you notice it's dimly lit, making you essentially invisible. What would you like to do as you can kind of stand at this T intersection and look like basically down like 2 corridors going to either end of the building?
Let's see. When in doubt, go left, dude. So
okay.
I'm going.
You make your way left, down the doors. All of the doors look identical to each other. There doesn't seem to be any kind of indication, light or otherwise, differentiating one room from being full or occupied versus vacant at the time. Give me a perception check as you make your way down the hallway.
Ooh. Let's see what I got. 22.
Okay. As you stepped into the back, and the door closed behind you after Rel held it open and appeared to change his mind about going into the back, you hear like a slight commotion, just like you would in any kind of space like this with a lot of doors, potentially a lot of occupants back here. And as you head left, you would notice that the sounds become quieter, as if you're getting further away from them.
All right, then I'll kind of start to track back and slowly start to, retread my path and head to the right.
Okay.
This time.
You return back to the kind of the intersection of the corridors. It sounds just as it did when you came into the back. And as you make your way down the corridor, just past like the landing in the very first room, it once again gets quieter. And you can more or less discern that the very first room on the right-hand side seems to be the only one occupied. You hear...
I chuckled to myself about how bold that is.
A male and female voice, like some laughter and, giggling and that kind of sound.
All right. I will go ahead and stand as close to the door as I can and put my head up against kind of where the door meets the wall and just listen.
Okay. You hear the female voice talking about negotiating seemingly a price. The male voice on the other end is kind of gruff and disagreeable. That's outrageous. I won't pay it. Do you know who I am? That kind of thing. And you can hear just the kind of muffled female voice. Very calm. Probably not the first time they've encountered this situation.
I'm going to lightly test the doorknob. Just give it like a half inch of a movement and see if it feels locked.
And you want to do this discreetly, yeah?
As discreetly as possible, yes.
Give me like a sleight of hand check, just for kind of nimbly trying to do it. I want to get some skill checks in that I don't get very often.
15.
I'll do it. So you give it a quick little turn. No stoppage, no nothing. It appears unlocked in your quick little cursory glance.
Excellent. Is it the kind of keyhole you could see through?
It isn't. It seems to be kind of this magical little like green field.
Oh, it's warded, huh? Basically.
Yeah.
All right, I would recognize that. I'm not gonna put my face into a ward.
Put your eye out.
Yeah, I already don't have eyes. I'm gonna continue to listen and see what I can just gather what I can gather out of it.
Okay. So you're gonna post up and you're gonna listen. Kai, Rel, Flametongue, you sit outside. Masawa on the other side of the door. What would you all like to do while they're back there?
I will be keeping a message line with Masawa to stay up to date and know if we need to, like, just break down the doors. Basically.
Okay. All right. So Masawa, now knowing this, would you have relayed all of these things back to Kai?
I would relay it through my filter of understanding.
Okay. So Kai, you at least know that it appears to be they're the only ones back there. It would be just your target and the entertainer. Yeah. Does that change anything that you would do otherwise, knowing that it's just them back there?
I will.
I'll offer to murder them.
Yeah, you can disguise yourself anyways, can't you?
Yes, I can.
Kai might suggest that you disguise yourself as another entertainer. And yeah.
See, that's why
and then
you're
just
the smart one.
Cut the throat when you get a chance.
Very well. I will go ahead and change myself into an approximation of one of the ladies out there.
Okay.
And Kai will say it's imperative that you kill them before they recognize the ruse.
Can do. And I'm gonna just be falling out of this top, so no one's gonna question shit.
Heard.
They're gonna just let me in.
Eye contact challenge. Got it.
Yeah. Fail, I bet.
Okay.
So I'll lightly I'll do this spell as my face and body changes, and I'll give a little light rap on the door.
Okay. You can hear the subject. What? Who's that? I hope it's somebody more agreeable than not here to rip me off.
Oh, the person who is here is very agreeable, sir. Very pliable.
Well, good. What can I do for you?
Open the door so I can make your experience here unforgettable.
All right, you heard her. Open the door. The door opens. An entertainer kind of gives you like a strange little look.
With one hand, I summon the hex blade and take his head. And with one hand, I summon the shadow blade and slice her throat. And then I close the door, appear as somebody else, and disappear.
Okay.
That's my plan. You do it how you do. So that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
You're the boss. That's just what I tried to do.
You summon the hex blade and accidentally drop it, then you trip over your shoelaces.
Oh, I just cut my own throat.
Start crying blood.
You're not used to swinging with boobs. You're a skeleton. Now you've got a massive rack, so it affects your swing. Roll with disadvantage.
T-Rex swing.
Yeah, roll with disadvantage. All right. So you're going to make your way into this small little room. As she's going to make her way out. She wants no part of this.
She's grabbed and pulled back in.
Okay.
And immediately cut.
All right. Give
So
me
much violence. Oh,
give
no.
me 2 attack rolls.
Okay.
The second one at disadvantage, but I'm gonna let you decide who like is the straight up roll and then who is the disadvantage of the 2.
All right. Well, someone got a crit. So, and then the second one. That's a tough one. Okay, let's see. Second one at disadvantage is rough. I think I have a little something for that though. Let me double check. Pretty sure I do. Okay. So yeah, the second hit was trying to find to do the math. It was a 14,
Okay.
but the first one was a crit.
Okay. So who are you gonna kill outright without a problem, and who is? I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna be a problem.
And I'll have to use my backup solution. I was hoping I wouldn't have to use my backup solution.
All right.
But
So who's dead?
I will if I. So, the woman is I mean, Kai, who was my primary target here?
So I thought it was a woman that was the ambassador, but then I think it was a male voice there. So it's the person who's in the hood, but
So I'll take his head.
Okay.
yeah.
Shink.
All right.
So no worries about the necromancer.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Did you just murder, like, a woman who works at the brothel?
So you
Oh,
I
boy.
missed.
are
Okay.
going to kill him.
Yeah.
Just
Don't worry, I got a
silently,
plan.
like right in the throat, just quietly. Big pool of blood though, but he's gonna go quietly, and you are going to like just miss, like the backswing, get it stuck in the wall, and she's just gonna stand there, just completely quiet, terrified. I won't tell anyone. Just let me go.
All right. Let's see. I'll say. Let's see. She means it, huh? I'll go ahead and I'll look into that. Can I do an insight on that?
Yes.
12.
You're not good at reading people. Emotions are weird. You're a skeleton man, an old one. The feels
fact.
they're not your wheelhouse. The feelings of people. But you do know fear. That one you got. And she's genuinely scared.
She's genuinely scared. All right. I'll grab her and tie her up
Okay.
and gag her and drag her down to one of the other empty rooms and throw her in there.
Okay.
Close the door, and then I'll sneak out. But I'm gonna become her.
All right. Which room do you want to put her in?
Let's put her in the room just above the nearest twin's head. 1, 2, 3, 4,
So
5.
this one?
Yep.
Okay.
Stick her in there.
Okay. So she even helps, like, kind of tie herself up.
Yeah, I'm gentle with her.
She's
made an
absolutely
understanding.
terrified. Yeah, she doesn't fight when you lead her down to the room. Yeah. Do you take her form in front of her, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
I take her form in front of her and I say,
Her eyes get all big, and she just kind of, resigned to her fate, sits on the bed.
all right, I'll lock the door and take off.
Okay. Beeline straight for the door back into the bar.
Casual beeline. But
Casual.
Yeah.
A stroll with emphasis. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So you make your way back to the bar. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Masawa returns back through. Well, I guess what
She comes out of the back room, but I'm telling Kai that this is part of my don't kill me.
Yeah, and Kai will relate to everyone that we should probably leave before the body is found.
So we're splitting.
Yeah, we should probably get some sleep, I say.
Yeah.
It's really late.
What time of day is it, by the way?
Like,
probably early evening.
Okay.
Us humans need lots of sleep.
So you've been here all day. Yes.
No.
Like most sentient, living, organic things, I require much rest.
Okay. I will. Since it's all of a sudden, I guess I'll just get ready to go. I have a place where we can go.
Wherever is clever for me, as long as it has a comfortable bed for my body.
I'll say as long as we get out of here and start working our way towards somewhere.
Yeah, that would be good.
Let's depart.
Okay.
My moment to shine and I missed.
Everybody kind of seems nice enough and will miss you. They've noticed you talking to Jocelana, so it's been pretty obvious that you were important. Everybody who served you was very kind. All the other people around you gave you a nice wide berth, expecting you to be important. We're not in your business. As you suddenly, all right, man, well, we gotta go. Just bolt out of the joint in the most inconspicuous way possible.
Left my keys in the car.
We're just leaving.
Well, we got something to do. Look at the time. All right. One at a time, or are you guys just literally going to bum rush out of there?
I'm going to leave out a separate exit so I don't be seen with these guys.
Okay.
Okay, so I was going to lead the group towards my office.
Okay.
I can keep in communication.
My old mentor's place that I inherited.
All right.
It's in the same district anyways, or it's in the same level.
Section.
Yeah. So it won't be too hard to get to. And it's been abandoned for 2 years, basically. I mean, or at least it hasn't done any business.
All right. Kai, what are you doing? Are you getting the hell out of there too, or are you going to try to be cool about it?
Yeah, no, Kai's going to get out of there.
Okay.
And he's also going to tell everyone as we're leaving. Once we've already gotten out of the bar, he will say, another thing I learned that will be important. Cass has been arrested from the guards at the gate. We need to think of a way to save him.
I mean, he's not in any danger, so to speak.
You say that, but the way that the Brayless treat changelings, I worry how he would fare in a prison.
Right, but he's in association with the Dark Lanterns. Even if he gets a bad treatment a little bit, he'll get out of there soon enough.
I hope so.
I'm just saying, like, he's a connected guy on good terms with, like, the CIA, basically. I'm sure that even if he ends up getting arrested, he'll get out of there. He's a resourceful kind of guy. I'm just saying that I don't know if like bounty hunters had come after him or something, it would be a little bit more alarming. But I think in jail, I mean, at the very least in jail, he can't cause any problems. So
that is true.
Yeah, I'm just saying I do want to help the guy. I'm just saying not necessarily top priority if we feel like other things are important. It feels like there's a lot of things that need to be taken care of.
Yes, let's
and remind me again, was I told why we had to rush out of there so quick?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was basically relaying the events as Masawa told me, so you would know that he.
So I take you to a place with an informed person, a well-informed, like connected to basically everyone in the city individual in his establishment, and then you killed somebody in it. I can't trust you guys anywhere. It can take you anywhere. This is ridiculous.
I told you what the plan was.
That was not the plan.
I let you know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I said, let's go to this place. You said, hey, by the way, now that we're here, I'm going to kill someone.
I just thought it would be it'd be easiest if we took him out.
Oh, good God. Well,
more easily.
Lost another contact. We're doing great, guys.
They don't know that we're the ones who did it.
Are you kidding? We went in there. Someone died. Do you realize nobody's ever died in this place, right? This is going to be like all over the news.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just showed up in town. I've been away from town for 2 years, and then someone dies. After I asked the questions that I asked? Oh my God.
We would have risked them getting away.
I may or may not have literally specifically said we should do this somewhere else. Anyways, I guess we'll have to deal with the consequences of those decisions.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, for all they know, we are literally
number one prime suspects.
For all, like, they honestly would think that it was a changeling because Masawa was changing faces.
Wasn't there a Warforged in there talking about being a cult killer and also being an intense bastard?
There was someone in there speaking
also,
to
I'm just saying,
also,
it's going to get harder and harder to complete objectives here as we make less and less places available to return to.
I'm just saying. I cut that guy with the blade that no longer exists. And
that makes it even more suspicious.
There's a Warforged over there with a blade talking about killing cultists openly.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Listen.
And everyone knows the Karnathi are in that awful cult.
Yeah. So that guy got picked off by that cult killer. And we left because we were We were afraid of him and our various religious beliefs. And now we should go report.
You do realize that all that just made us sound really suspicious, right?
I mean, this is all inner dialogue with us. We don't have to tell anybody what we don't want to tell them.
Well, you're making it out like this is our explanation. No, listen.
It's not bad.
This is just the facts of the situation.
I'll
There's a
just
Warforged
say,
over there that's crazy and kills cultists.
I'm just saying.
A cultist died on his visit.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. Little redirection.
I don't know. I don't know.
It'll be okay.
It'll be okay. People die in Sharn all the time.
Not in a well-established brothel.
Well,
should have had better security.
You know what? That's not my fault. There were no guards to really get past except for 2 louts.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and they saw we never went back there.
Okay, listen.
yeah, you never went back there. Remember that? And no one with you went back there.
We were in a city of magic and technology.
And I used
I
magic.
will now have to ask Jasolano if there ain't security clairvoyance cameras in the building.
I was invisible.
The whole time.
Magically. Yeah. I was. The only time anyone saw my face was when I
you
took someone else's
disappeared from the
face.
when you disappeared from the place, okay? And then someone invisibly had their throat slit.
Yeah, but it wasn't me. I didn't even come out looking the same
Oh boy,
as I did.
I'm just
going.
saying. I'm just saying.
It's gonna be all right, and if not, it's gonna be interesting.
Oh wait,
Right. Well, yes.
if that
that's
person
true.
was a necromancer, and Masawa is an undead,
Presumably, question mark. I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
He knew.
You're just asking me to take this all on faith, by the way. You guys just basically conspired to kill somebody, and I don't know that they were occultists.
I mean, Kai told you the exact
They gave you the
situation we
blow
were
by
in.
blow.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know, when I point to some random person as we're walking down the street, I'm pretty sure that person raped somebody that was an important part of my family. So are we just gonna all agree to kill them?
Yes.
You see how this doesn't quite work this way?
Yeah, but that's pretty extreme. They deserve to die. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Lots of people deserve to die.
This was probably one of them.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people.
And as an ancient old wise man once said, a lot of people deserve to live. Are you the one who gets to decide that?
Apparently today.
Right, well.
Well, I mean, I didn't decide it. I was just the right arm of Kai. I didn't do shit.
yeah, I mean, Kai's gonna have to stick by his guns on this one. Well, it would have been better if we had waited to get them in an alleyway.
That's
This was
that's
the
all I'm
perfect-
saying.
This was the perfect situation. They had their guard down.
Listen,
they-
patience.
Well,
Yeah.
if you
Make
counsel patience,
well-orchestrated
then I will
plan.
listen, and I apologize.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, I mean, you did what you did, and I don't know. It's
I mean, I didn't do anything.
you're sentient, right?
I am, but I
Well,
was,
then you
I
did
was just the
something.
right arm, that's all.
Yeah, that means you did something.
Well, Masawa was never there. No one saw Masawa.
Yeah,
All
Masawa was never there.
right.
I didn't even enter the club as me,
Philosophical
remember
argument
that?
somewhere else, magic user.
See, I entered the club under guys.
So you make your way out. The large bodyguard out front. See you guys later. It's great to see you, Rel. Hope you guys had
Oh,
fun. Hope
yeah.
to see you again soon.
Bye.
Do you need me to
This would
catch?
be before we had this would be before we had this long conversation.
Do
We
we
didn't stand in the doorway of the fucking
We're all-
brothel and have this conversation.
Yeah. Kai will
Did you
just
just
act
kill
drunk.
somebody in that back room?
Right over there.
The doorman's
Right
like awkwardly
there.
waiting for you to make
I
a move
see
so they
blood
can
dripping
open the
from your
door and not
scabbard.
just stand there with the door open like an asshole waiting for you to come. Like, are they coming? Nope, not yet. Yep, nope, damn it. All right, look.
I hate this job.
Kai will just act drunk, acting like he had a great time. You all have a great night. I know we did. We will see you all the next time we come in.
say I know we dead.
Huh?
Oh.
Oh.
Just a Freudian slip there. Anyways, let's continue.
Okay.
You know Freudian.
I do.
Yeah.
You make your way.
That gnomish psychologist who worked on mind magic.
Great beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silky.
You make your way out into the street. It's a lot more crowded than it was before. It's starting to get dark. As the red light district begins to pick up. Couple little small brothels. Lines already formed. Clearly not nearly the class of the one you just left. A couple of casinos, and everybody give me a perception check, please. Kai at disadvantage. I'm sorry, you're
short.
You're short. I'm sorry.
Wait, what if I was riding on Flametongue's shoulders?
Nah, I don't know about that.
Advantage, because then you'd be like 10 feet in the air.
So I rolled a 1 with disadvantage.
Okay.
It was an 18 and a 1.
Okay. So
I got 22.
Okay.
Wow, you kicked the shit out of
7.
me. 14.
Okay.
I'm on high alert because I heard that somebody died recently and it was our fault.
It was just horrible, that situation.
I just like, Jesus.
You've had a rough, reintroduction to the city, Rel, and as such, you are probably a little tense. As you make your way up the streets, you notice, you feel like you're being followed.
I know it. I also had just recently come into the realization that I'm basically just a regular guy who's like sort of a detective with a gun. And I'm traveling with like a wizard, terrorist, magic user, an undead
Terrorist.
assassin warlock, and a holy magic paladin person. I'm like the straight man. I am like the odd man out. This is like Shaun of the Dead, and I'm Sean. And everyone else, and I'm just like, look, I'm a regular guy. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I brought this pistol, and that's all I know.
I have a pistol, and I can talk. Okay?
And this
I'm
is
a
the
regular
least crazy.
guy.
This rare exotic weapon is the least crazy thing about
I
my
know.
situation.
I have like one of the like maybe 100 or 1,000 guns, and I'm the normal guy. Anyways, do I get a sense of the direction that I'm being followed from?
From behind. Like,
always from behind.
Yeah.
Is it me?
Dirty.
No, it's not you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'm the only one that noticed that.
Do I have a red thing over my head
Yeah.
now because of that?
Like an exclamation point.
Is it PVE now?
You.
Yeah, we're walking through the city and it's like you've been flagged for PvP.
Yeah.
It's all
What?
clean.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So I'm the only one who noticed this. Do I notice how many people are following me?
It seems like just one.
One individual's following me. Oh. Is it a woman?
Maybe.
I'm a woman.
Maybe.
Huh?
The,
It
the-
is. Uh-oh.
The beard is a little.
It's the person with a beard. Okay.
The beard is a little deceptive, but yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
Do you alert me to that? Can I turn around?
no, I didn't say anything.
All right, then I'm
Um,
just casually walking.
Yeah, are they trying to get our attention, or are they just are they just like tracking us, following us?
They're making their way through the crowd with some level of difficulty due to stride, just not being able to get a full field of view. Not as bad as Kai, but they're still obstructed. They're a limited field of view.
So this is a member of the guard, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will I will act like nothing has happened, and we will continue making our moves since they seem to be struggling to keep up, at least for now. And I will just say, I probably have just come to the realization that we might have been and are probably being followed the whole time we're here. By the way, someone's following us.
Should I turn around?
No, it's someone from the guard. So we have to make a decision now whether we want to play the conversation game or try a little harder and lose them. They're basically barely keeping pace with us at this point.
We can ditch them.
How far behind is she?
A good little bit, 60 feet. Like I said, the streets are really starting
really
to get really crowded, and it's not very orderly. You've got people kind of.
So I can have a conversation like this, and nobody's gonna really notice. Yeah, there's too many people on.
Yeah, nobody around you gives a shit about your business. Just it's a lot of coming and going. Plus, it's the red light district, so a lot of kind of head down maybe. So everybody is very respectful of everybody else's going on. But like I said, because of the time of day, the streets are starting to get crowded.
Okay. So I laid that out. What do you guys think?
We should ditch him.
We should ditch? Okay. Yeah, let's not break into a run. Let's attempt to lose them around a corner or like slip into an alley. Can we try to do that as a group?
Okay. So this is what we'll do. We'll do, there's 4 of you. We'll do kind of a group stealth check. Everybody rolls something. 2 of you succeed. It'll apply to all of you. So don't be... Okay? So everybody give me your own respective stealth check. Flametongue, I'm sorry, the big armor.
I'm very stealthy sometimes.
Nat 20.
Oh, this is not
Nat 20. Wow, I got a 14, so even I wasn't like.
I got a 15.
Excelling.
I got 2.
But a nat 20 balancing it out a little bit, maybe.
Kai is going to hide behind like a box, just expertly. Just duck like real quick behind an alley, unobstructed, low center of view. Doesn't take up a lot of space. Kind of duck down the alley as it seems like. Really, you're still paying it. You're like keeping an ear out for her. Is that the?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay. So you're tuned in. You know who it is. It would seem like they're getting a little turned around behind you. And so they seem to be veering off a little bit.
I know the streets pretty well because this is an area I'm somewhat familiar with. Is this alley a dead end, or can we use this to detour it to a different path?
It looks like it definitely ends. There's sunlight pouring in from another side. It looks like it goes quite a distance, and it's just like a straight shot.
Cool. Let's move.
Okay.
It's dim light in here then, huh?
We won't be safe until we get back.
It's gonna be very tall, narrow buildings. And this late in the day, they're gonna really be casting shadows.
Well, all I need is a shadow or a dim light, and I'm invisible.
So I think that this is we're not going to be safe until we make it back to my old place. I think it'll be safe there because very few people know about it, and it's been abandoned for years. So it should be a safe hideout.
Sounds good.
Let's
roll. I don't know. I don't know / I doubt that they were after us for any particular reason, but we're playing this game now, so here we go.
Okay.
The game of stealth.
All right. You all make your way down the alley. Go ahead and give me one more group stealth check.
I get the exact same thing. 15.
16.
It's funny. I actually have a pretty good stealth. I'm rolling 8 a lot today.
20, nat 20. So I rolled a 20.
Whoa!
Oh,
No
right.
way.
you're
You figured
gonna,
it out.
We've decided we are gonna be sneaky today.
You're gonna blend in like a big stack of boxes. Everybody's gonna file in front of you, and you're just gonna obscure everybody as the
Hold my cloak out.
just gonna look like a big piece of laundry hanging on a line, blocking the alley. Rel, from behind you, you're gonna hear the kind of grunting and struggling of the dwarf kind of make their way through past the alley and then kind of fade off in the distance to not seem to follow you.
How is our chance to go to your hideout?
Yeah, let's do it. And I lead them maybe a little bit like not straight, it's a little surreptitiously trying to like get us to there so that, you know, I can keep an eye and see if anyone else is still tailing us and stuff.
Okay, so the same way that the twin sons kind of took you through, right? You're gonna make kind of the
Sure, yeah, it's
the
gonna
long,
be a little
long way. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to make your way from Firelight, the kind of middle class red light district, into Center Bridge, a kind of smaller commercial and residential area of town. It's going to look exactly the same as when you left. Almost all the businesses are still intact. And even some of the kind of familiar like faces about this neighborhood still seem as if like this is the one thing in this city that you've seen since you've gotten here that looks exactly as you remember it.
So can I describe the place?
Yeah.
So you see what looks like sort of it's sort of like it's in a nicer district, but it's sort of down a like an off turn lane that just kind of runs to a dead end, and so it's kind of there's not really people walking down in this area that much, and it's sort of kind of it looks a little ramshackle, like it looks well made, but it looks a little wooden and crummy. It looks efficient and not nice per se. And oh, I have to pull up, oh, it's here. There's a sign that's loosely hanging outside the front door, and it says Light Ward Investigations. And yeah, it's a bit run down, and obviously nobody's been in or out, except for it does look like somebody's at least been like dusting up the place. It doesn't look completely abandoned, but it looks like nobody's using it. And yeah, it's sort of like it's small, like it's one of those like in between two other buildings, and it's kind of like 2 stories, but it's like a sliver.
It's got a fraction for an address.
Yeah, like it's just it's form and function.
26 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like your stereotypical private eye office. It's just like it, and as I open the door and inside you see just a bunch of like loose files, and like it's sort of like there are like 3 desks that are all in various states of ramshackleness, and in the back you can see there are stairs going upstairs.
It's a good little walk. It's taking you probably close to 40 minutes to an hour to make it this far. Probably a little longer if you, depending on how many times you kind of circled around. So it's going to be 8, 9 o'clock, nighttime. The last little bit of getting out of the Firelight District was especially hard as people really start to kind of make their way in, and you leaving, you would be absolutely fighting the tide, no matter how you left. So it's later in the evening. All of the magical street lights provided by the mage rights of the city have come to life. Everything is well lit in the most modern, government provided way as a basic service. incumbent on being residents of Sharn. And yeah, Rel, you're in your office. What else?
I guess we can hide out here for now. I close the curtain, or like draw the blinds closed, if you will. And you know, there aren't really any beds here or anything, but we can set up camp here. Upstairs is in a state. I'd prefer if nobody touched anything up there, but I can show you around if you want. I think it'll make a lot more sense if I do. So I lead the group up the stairs, and upstairs, I like light, I don't know, I like a lantern or something. There's a wall with your stereotypical like ropes and pins and stuff, you know, clues and stuff. Very much looks like an investigation on maybe a serial killer or a mass murderer or something like that. It looks like you see like lines drawn to a question mark figure and like dead people. But what you'll note, what stands out the most in this room is in the middle of the floor, there is an outline drawn on the floor, and there's a stain of blood still on the floor in the center of that.
What do you care to explain that?
This is where my mentor was murdered.
You did not clean it.
No. I haven't been using this space. Nobody has really. Once the body was cleared, I've been investigating who murdered him. It's been unsolved, but nobody seems to want to solve it. It's something I don't know. It's complicated. He was my mentor, and he was showing me the ropes, if you will, and we spent a bunch of time investigating random things. That's how I made connections with people. He had given me the lay of the land, if you will. And he was out on an investigation, and I hadn't had one of my own, and a man came in, and he said his wife had gone missing. And I guess I was a bit young and dumb, and I decided I was going to investigate it while, you know, take on my own first case. So I did. And I managed to track down his wife. She was dead. When I returned to the man's house to inform him that he was also dead. And when I returned to my office, my mentor was dead. I, in secret, investigated this for some time before I was, in my opinion, intentionally whisked away to the Brellish military. I think that there is someone, either a person in position of wealth or power or within the royalty, who has a fascination with murdering people. The person left a calling card and would kind of made their intentions known. I think it was for sport, perhaps, or for maybe pleasure. I don't know, but I think there's a serial killer in Sharn, and I think that they're wealthy enough that they're able to cover their tracks.
So while it sounds a little
maybe you're
similar, you don't think the murders at Moorgrave University would be related, would you?
I wouldn't know until I saw the bodies. It's why I keep asking.
Maybe your killer was at the amazing chest.
Unlikely, but possible. I don't know their identity. all the clues I have indicate that there's somebody who's incredibly talented. They use all the murders were committed with a long, sharp, piercing weapon, probably a rapier or like a long dagger of some type or something like that. And every single murder. So over my investigation, I uncovered other clues and found other bodies, and every single one had always been stabbed just once through the heart, and they always attacked from the front, never from behind. But when I started to confront people like Brun and other individuals, I kept running into walls. People kept deflecting, and I started to lose a lot of favor with the authority in the city. And then all of a sudden I was asked to go back to the Brellish military, and as if I was asking too many questions, I guess.
Asked.
Yeah.
Conscripted, maybe?
Yeah. That's why I've been somewhat resistant working with the Brellish military, and why I'm a bit overly cautious about things. But I mean, the way that the murders have happened, they seem to come in waves. They seem to happen in like 2 to 8, and then all of a sudden there's none for a while, and then all of a sudden a bunch of murders happen again. And because of the way that they happen, the people are always just not important enough for someone to really take an interest. Or like I don't know. One other random clue I seem to have is that they tend to go for lovers, couples. It's not every time, but several of them have been like the first people I talked about were murdered by the murderers were a couple who seemed to be in love and liked each other. I don't know if that's important, but it's just another clue I have. I point at the wall, and you can see that like of the murders that I've connected theoretically to the serial killer, several of them look to be like couples, like not necessarily husband and wife, but like partners.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess I just never cleaned it up because it reminds me that the crime hasn't been solved.
That's proper motivation.
So I've never been attacked myself, which I find confusing. I'm not sure if it's intentional. Like if I'm being taunted or something, but
maybe you're being protected, and the person who is doing this is someone you know.
Not likely. Possible, but I don't have that many connections. They're like, as you've seen already in our short time here, connections can be earned and lost in moments. So yeah, I mean, I've had romantic relations with some people in the city, but nothing like majorly serious. Like I've never had a husband or a wife or like a serious relationship. I've always kind of been tied down by my work. Raul gets really red in the face and it's like, so yeah, anyways, I thought that this would be the best opportunity to kind of show you, not just tell you exactly my deal.
We can aid in this person's capture.
Yeah, you'll notice that like when I brought it up with some people, what I was investigating, some of them seem to not take it very seriously, and others seem to think that I'm chasing a fantasy, but someone did murder my boss, and
I find that mortals often lie to themselves to make them feel better. This is no different.
I suppose.
Denying what's plain is very human.
So there is a small chance that a lot of what's going on here is all tied together. It's really hard to say because I don't have much more clues to that. So it could be someone from a wealthy house. It could be like just a rich, wealthy lord's son or something like that. Like I don't really know. All I can say is that they're very, very talented, very dangerous, and that they've somehow always managed to get away, even though they confront their victims directly. There's one other sign is when he stabs them, he or she, I should say, stabs them, pierces them through the heart. After they have passed, he manipulates the body and puts their hands over their heart where they were stabbed. Well,
Why?
almost peacefully. I don't know. A calling card. Maybe the killer has an obsession with romance or love. Maybe they were scorned by a lover and they feel jealous of other people who are in love. I honestly, I was only starting to really unravel things when I was forced to go back to the Brellish military.
Interesting.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot going on here, and maybe this is tied in with it. I haven't picked up any clues yet about any specific murders that are similar to this. But I have a sneaking suspicion that we might find something when we head to the university. I just find it very unlikely that this person has stopped, doing what they were doing. They seem to. I get a sense that they enjoy what they're doing since they're so meticulous.
All right. We'll go ahead and call it there. Rel's shown his old office to the rest of the party. Like I said, it's getting kind of late at night, so take a rest, hunker down, make a plan for the morning.
We can turn the downstairs office into a makeshift campsite, pull out our bedrolls and stuff.
Little grown-up sleepover in an office space. All right, so the party has met some more people once again in Sharn. We'll see if they'll be able to go back, and they formulated another plan to look into one of the clues they got in the brothel. So we will stop right there. Every week, you get to see these guys play amazing characters. This week was no different, as always. Behind them, these great characters, they're even better people. We give everybody a little chance to say a little bit about themselves before I blah, blah, blah about some channel stuff, and then we get the hell out of here. So let's start with Kai. Let's start with the big mover here. So you just kind of got up from the table, made this plan, led to the death of somebody. You feel pretty good about it?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Eat
I was
that.
pretty pleased that it went as well as it did. I guess he wasn't thinking about potentially being caught in the act, given the invisibility and everything of Masawa. But I guess that's a possibility. If people do catch on, then I guess that'll be disappointing. But for the moment, Kai is kind of on a post-assassination high, where he's just like really happy with how it went, and is looking forward for the ability to have another performs assassination in the future.
Okay. I 10 out of 10 would volunteer again.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. You all right, man? Everything okay at home? I'm kind of worried about you.
Yeah,
little bloodthirsty.
Well, it's all for good reason, right?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Is it for good reason? I just present opportunities, man. You tell me if it's for a good reason.
Yeah.
I feel all right. I'll sleep okay tonight.
Yeah.
And then tell us about our friend Landon.
I'm a software developer. So I basically work at my desk all day, and then I get to play video games at my desk right after it. So this is pretty much where I'm always found at. I love fantasy games. Sony State of Play last Thursday. Got to see the next Final Fantasy game. That was pretty exciting. I got some good news. One of my favorite mangas just was announced that it would continue after the author passed away. So that is really exciting news. I have a wife and I have two big Saint Bernards, and every week I like to say I appreciate you all playing Dungeons & Dragons and letting me be part of this group. Always look forward to playing with you guys.
Awesome. I love you, buddy. All right, let's move to the opposite end of the murder spectrum. Somebody who barged into a hot tub with two brothers of their faith to discuss their seeming lack of, you don't feel like they're doing really good to bring people into the flock, huh? Flametongue's a little disappointed.
Well, yeah, the whole point of the Silver Flame is like the Church of the Silver Flame, they don't necessarily go to like temples and pray. They show their devotion through their actions. So if the church is not doing well in a certain place, that's almost like a direct reflection on like what these people are doing or not doing in this place. So if they want to stay, it just would make sense that they would try to do more good and convert more people. And I was also just happy that I wasn't the cause of the wanton murdering this session. So that was nice. But I also, we managed to sneak, so that was also a bonus. I couldn't believe I rolled that 20 right there. So
nice.
Good day for Flametongue, all in all.
Nice. Tell us about our boy Nick.
I'm a chef, live in California. I've got a great wife and a bunch of animals. Got 2 cats and a dog, and it's got new neighbors, and they have outside cats who just like come and hang out in our yard because there's like more stuff to climb on. So now I have like 2 outside cats that I don't have to feed, so that's pretty cool. I love D&D.
Free pets.
Yeah, free pets, rad. Love D&D, love fantasy, love playing with these guys. Thanks for taking me into your awesome group, and can't wait to see what we get into next week.
Awesome. All right, let us move over to the actual implementer of death without too many questions asked, right? Just Kai gave you the once over and you were like, yeah, man, say less, I'm in. What do I got to do, right?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I'm morally ambiguous. If you want something done and you need me to do it, fine.
Does your relationship with Kai play into it at all? Is it the fact is that Kai suggested something, you trust Kai, so it's a good idea?
Yeah,
okay.
I think that Masawa sees that Kai has a superior intellect, and that what he sees as necessity, I should, at least take that into account.
Okay, fair enough.
And this time, I just went on blind faith, and I know that as an undead, I don't particularly like necromancers, so I enjoyed slicing his head off.
Okay, your Venn diagrams overlapped at one point, so that works. All right, tell us about our boy Tenta.
I'm Tenta. I am married. I have 2 cats. I love MMA and pro wrestling and every kind of metal, and just a happy dude. here in Oklahoma. Glad to be a part of what we got going on. And this was a really fun session. They're all fun, but this one tickled me quite a bit. So thank you.
Cool. I'm glad. All right. Last but not least, Dustin. So your contacts have proven quite fruitful in their information. Everybody seems to know a little bit of something going on. How's Rel doing back at the office? This is the first time. Was this the last place you were in when you left Sharn?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would have visited this place.
Yeah.
I locked it up and, made sure it was safe. But yeah, I would have, it's been a long time, but, in my heart, I've never stopped the hunt for my mentor's killer.
Okay.
His name, by the way, is, oh no, I lost it. I believe it's Dax Lightward.
It is. I have your
Yeah.
paperwork right in front of me.
Yeah.
So,
So this both ties into everything that's sort of happening, since it seems like maybe there's some connections here, but there's going to be some baggage, let alone my companions murdering people.
Oh, I mean,
the gnome said it was a good idea. We went with it.
I mean, yeah, I thought we were just going to check out. I regret saying anything. I should have just let it happen. I was like, oh yeah, let's go take a peek inside, make sure that everything's legit.
I know that you believe Kai is lying about his thing, but the thing is,
I didn't say I believe you're lying.
Well,
You
said you didn't know.
I just said, listen. All right. Things are a bit risky, crazy. We're really putting our stuff out there. Gotta be careful.
Kai will help you hunt down your person.
Very well. All right, and tell us about our boy Dustin.
Yes, I'm the guy who likes the Dungeons and the Dragons.
The only one.
The only one. Everyone else here doesn't really like it. I just make them do it for my sake.
We're pretty good friends.
They support my addiction, and I appreciate that.
We fake it really well.
Yeah. No, I'm actually like sort of pursuing some things on my own, trying to expand, and just pursue things that I've always wanted to. I'm getting old, get that midlife crisis going. And yeah, things are going pretty well. I'm away. I'm on like sort of a mini vacation right now. I'm going to Seattle, but I should be back for Dungeons and Dragons, so it shouldn't be an issue.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Going to the America. Ooh.
Yeah, just be careful, man. It's crazy down here.
I dodged bullets in Mexico. Now I have to be careful in the States. Jesus.
But, yeah, just just be careful. I live here, and I'm like, God, this place sucks. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I should be okay.
All right. So our international correspondent will not be for a brief period of time next week. We'll, for the only time ever, have all been in the same country at the same time, which is kind of an odd thing to say, but not in 2022. So that's kind of the magic of the way the world is right now, that none of us have been in the same country at the same time, and yet we've been able to do this for a year and a half. So that has been tonight's episode of Eberron Tranquility's Betrayal. Check us out tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Dynasty of Dragons. We are about halfway through that limited campaign, so we're going to be coming up on the end of that real soon. We'll also be announcing what is going to be coming after that when that narrative ends. Thank you for watching, everybody, tonight. If we don't see you tomorrow night for Dynasty of Dragons, check us out back here next week. Eberron Tranquility's Betrayal. To our players, thank you guys so much. This is always just a great time. I hope you had fun tonight. To everybody who watched, thank you for watching and hanging out with us. Little comments in chat, we really appreciate it. It was a good time. So we'll see you tomorrow night or next week. Thank you for watching. Always remember, I love Dungeons & Dragons and the people who play it. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Bye.